Welcome back, Sethbling here. Today I've got a new kind of lock for you, combo lock. I call it the repeater lock. Let me show you how it works. I'll push this button, but I haven't entered the combo yet. So what happens is this lava curtain kind of starts to drop away, but there's always lava in there preventing me from really entering. It doesn't really work. So I'll have to enter the combo. I happen to know the combo. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's the combo. When I push the button, the piston will push a block in the path of the lava, and the lava actually permanently clears away. I can just walk right through this. Here we can see all of the redstone behind. There is very little. And so I can just walk back. In order to reset the lock or reset the door, I just push the button. That will allow the lava to flow again. And I'll want to clear out the combo from the repeaters so that the next person who comes along doesn't just have access to my door. And yeah, unless you have the exact right combo, the lava path will not get cleared. So here's what's going on. I'm going to push this button here. Pay attention to this row of repeaters that's sort of behind the wall. Of course, this wouldn't be glass in an actual system. This is just for demonstration. So pay attention to this line of repeaters. So I'll push the button over here, and they kind of all turn on at random times, and that goes into this little circuit here that I'll explain in a minute. But when I enter the actual combo, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this combo is completely configurable. You can set it to whatever you want. When I enter the actual combo, go ahead and look at this row of repeaters one more time. They all turn on and off exactly at the same time. Let me show you that again. On, off. And in fact, they're all on for exactly 1 second. And here's why. This repeater is set to 1 tick, and this repeater is set to 4 ticks. That's a total of 5 ticks. Look at the second one in. This repeater is set to 2 ticks, and the second one in over here is set to 3 ticks. Also adds up to 5. All of these pairs of repeaters add up to exactly 5 ticks when the combo is correct, which means that, as you saw, the signal is going to take the exact same amount of time to get through the repeater onto the other side and through this repeater as well for each of these pairs of repeaters. So 5 ticks exactly, and since the button stays depressed for exactly 1 second or exactly 10 ticks, since they all have the exact same delay, they will all have a 1 second output here. They'll be in sync with each other 5 ticks after the button was pressed, and there'll be a 1 second pulse here on this redstone. And now if I modify any of these at all, say I push this up by 1, this is actually going to put this repeater out of sync with the rest of them, and since I increase the delay, it's going to increase the output here from 10 ticks to 11 ticks. So what we see is that that one repeater is out of sync just by a little bit, and it causes this whole line of redstone to stay on for 11 ticks. And if I made it shorter, instead of it's supposed to be 2, I made it 1 here, then the signal will get across here too early. So it'll still be 11 ticks that this redstone is on. And we can see that this one, again, is a little bit out of sync, and it causes this redstone to be on for too long. Now, the way that I have that operate the lock is that right here, this is a pulse length detector. This thing right here, what it does is when it sees a input pulse of exactly 1 second or 10 ticks, then it blinks this torch on for exactly 1 tick. And as many of you will know, when a piston receives power for exactly 1 tick, it will push the block, but it won't pull it, even if it's a sticky piston. And that's what we see here. It pushes the block and it doesn't pull it. And that's what blocks off the lava flow. Now this pulse length detector, it will only output a 1 tick pulse out from this torch if the input pulse is exactly 10 ticks. And you can see exactly what's going on here if you want to copy this for yourself. There's very little to it. The idea is that when the signal comes in on this line, the very first thing that happens is 1 tick later, this torch turns off, which turns off the line here, which will also depower this block, except this torch is still going to be on. So after that pulse comes in, if this pulse is exactly 1 second, then this torch will turn off, and this block will still be powered, this torch will stay off. Okay, next thing that happens is 8 ticks later, we get through both of these repeaters that are set to max delay, and that will turn this torch off. So after the 9th tick, this torch is turned off, which means this torch now has an opportunity to turn back on. So this torch will turn on after the 9th tick, and then since the pulse was exactly 1 second, then this torch will turn back on, and that will be 1 tick later. That'll be after 10 ticks for this pulse, and so that'll turn this torch back off. So after 9 ticks the torch turns on, after 10 ticks the torch turns off, and that is what causes the torch to go for exactly 1 tick. And that's what causes the piston to do its thing. So hopefully you can understand it. It does require a little bit of knowledge about the way that ticks work in Minecraft, but this is a good way to learn about ticks and how you can use the very precise timing that you can learn about with repeaters and torches to your advantage. But it's a very simple circuit. You can see everything right here, so I'm not even going to put the world up for download just because you can already see it. I did use some pressure plates to block in the lava so it wouldn't flow everywhere once it hits the ground. But that's it. You can see everything else. It's just some sandstone over here. You can just walk right through. Kind of a cool door. I mean, you can use fire resistance potions. To be honest, this isn't necessarily even the best lock. You could just use levers, and if you use enough levers, you would get a pretty high level of complexity. This is 6 repeaters. 6 repeaters, I believe, have a total of 4,096 combinations. Of course, this is expandable. For every repeater you add, you'll add a factor of 4 in terms of the number of possible combinations, so adds a lot of complexity. So you can extend this out pretty much as far as you want, as long as you're able to get the timing right. But even without worrying about any of the timing, you could extend it out another 4 repeaters, no more than that, probably like 6 repeaters or so off to the side here, and that would allow you to have a ton of different combinations. Of course it would take longer to enter it too, but it'd take a little bit more space and stuff. Still kind of a neat concept. I haven't seen anyone use repeaters as a way to configure a lock, and of course to configure the combination you just need to make sure that the repeaters are going to add up to 5 ticks in order in each pair. So that's pretty simple. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully this is useful. Maybe you can develop this into some other type of mechanism other than a lock. There's a lot of possibilities with Minecraft. You never know. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.